joined by former NYCFC defender Joe Scally. First things first, how are you doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Are you ready to take a walk down memory lane and relive some of your NYCFC memories?
Yeah, I'm excited to see which ones you have, so let's go.
Well, you started in the club's academy, so my first question for you is, how was that transition coming from the soccer experience you'd had before into the club's academy?
Yeah, I remember going to kind of like a trial. The team had one academy team. It was my age group, so I came and trained with them for the week, and it was basically seeing if I was good enough to play with them. I started out as a midfielder with the with the academy team. It was good, everyone was really good players, the top players in New York, and then I guess the transition was smooth. I really don't remember. It was such a long time ago.
I need you to paint a tiny bit of a picture for me. You said you started as a midfielder. Are we talking wide midfielder, central midfielder?
Yeah, no, I played center midfielder. Yeah, I played the 8 and 10 role. Thank you for the youth teams. Well, my first year, I would say, and then after that, I moved to right back.
So we have an exclusive. Joe Scally was a playmaker before he was a defender.
Yeah, I was. Definitely, if you look back at some tapes, you can see it.
And you had a really successful time with the academy. Can you talk me through some of the highlights for you personally that you really look back on quite fondly?
Yeah, I think we were on everything, to be honest. I remember we won the GA Cup in Dallas, Texas. We won this with I want to say the U17 team, but I forget it. Then the U19 team won the national championship. We destroyed every team. That academy team was so good. We had a bunch of teams, a bunch of players who are on the NYCFC first team now. So, yeah, the academy days were great. I'd look forward to going to trainings at night, just seeing all my friends. I still talk to all of them almost. Andreas, James, Tavon, Justin, all these guys I still talk to. So, yeah, the academy days were awesome.
And when we look at winning teams, we always try to figure out what made them so special. As someone that was living it, if you're able to reflect on it, what do you think made that team so impressive and so successful?
I think we were all best friends, to be honest. Everyone, clicked with each other. It was such a good group of guys. We were with each other for 4 years straight, and we're all such good players at the time that everything just clicked. We had great chemistry off the field, which reflected to our performances on the field, and it was just a great group of guys.
And then you started obviously and continued that progression up into the first team. You made your MLS debut against New England. I think for every fan watching, whether they're an NYCFC fan or just a soccer fan, can you put into words what that moment is to get ready to make your professional debut in a league like MLS?
Yeah, it was definitely a special moment for me because I had a lot of ups and downs. When I joined NYCFC, I had hip surgery. I really wasn't playing at all. So to finally make my debut against New England, was special to me just because that alone, it was my professional debut, and everything about it. I was in the New England Patriots Stadium, which of course you watch them because Tom Brady won a bunch of championships there, and just had so much history for being an American to play in that stadium to make your debut.
And when you kind of look back, I guess, in general on your time at NYCFC, what impact do you think the club had on you personally?
I think the club just gave me a platform to show myself, to show what type of player I was. With the youth teams, there were so many people watching. Always, we were competing for the championship, so you had scouts from all over watching because each youth team was so good, and just at the professional levels. Even our team, NYCFC won the national championship, the MLS 2 years ago. So the players that are there, that you're training with in the first team are so good that you just get better naturally as a player.
And for fans that aren't aware, obviously you're now with Borussia Mönchengladbach, which is easy for me to say. How has the transition been to Germany for you in those early stages?
Yeah, it's been fairly easy, to be honest. When I first moved over, it was difficult because of coronavirus was going on and a bunch of things were closed. But now, it's smooth. It's like home. I feel very, very comfortable here. I live in an amazing city. The club is amazing. The fans are great. So, there's nothing to complain about. It's definitely a smooth transition.
You talked about the moving from cultures there. Is there anything small you miss? Because I see with a lot of the American players that move to Europe, there's maybe little things, foods or things outside of family and friends that they miss.
Yeah,
is there anything you particularly miss?
Yeah, food, definitely. Just Uber Eats, we have Uber Eats in the city, but if you want to get something at I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, everything is just closed. You can't get anything. That's one thing that stinks. Also, the grocery store is closed on Sunday, which is so bad. You can't get anything to eat on Sunday. Like, if you didn't go to the grocery store, if you have a game Saturday, you can't go to the grocery store. So that's one thing that sucks. But, yeah, those two things.
Good PSA for anyone that moves to Germany. Get your shopping done nice and early.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're in trouble. And the Bundesliga, it is one of Europe's biggest leagues. There's so many amazing players from top to bottom. How has that challenge developed you, do you think, as a player and a defender?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's the top five, one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, and every week you're going against the best forwards, the best wingers, that you just develop your skills naturally. The players you're playing with are, most of them play on their national teams, some of the best players in the world, and every day, you're just challenged, and these challenges make you a better player when you're doing it every single day.
How is the transition, I guess, from MLS to the Bundesliga in terms of style, I guess, almost culturally? How do the games differ, if at all?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very big difference. I think here, the level and the physicality is just, much different, much greater. The players you see, for example, of course, Bayern Munich is the best, is one of the best in the league. They have players like Sané, Mane. These guys are, I think you can't really compare it to the players in the MLS because it's just a very big difference.
And in terms of getting back to New York, are you able to come back often? I know the season there is very grueling and punishing.
Yeah, we have 2 breaks during Christmas time, and then, when the season is finished, where I always come back to New York and, see the guys like, Andreas, James, Tavon, and Justin when I can, Nico also. So, yeah, I'm always back in New York. I haven't been able to see a game in like 2 years, so I think this summer is something I want to do, is go back and see a game. But yeah, I definitely miss going to Yankee Stadium and watching those games.
I definitely think we can sort you with tickets for that. Don't even worry about
so.
it. Yeah, you have our email address now. We're all good. It'll be fine.
Awesome.
How different is your life day to day then in Germany, say, compared to how it was here? Because obviously you had family nearby. Now you're out on your own. Is it vastly different?
Yeah, it's definitely way, way different. I would be home with, all family and friends, everyone, you can see them easily on a daily basis. But here, it's, people think it's very easy because, you're in the Bundesliga, you're living definitely a dream. But yeah, when you're at home, it's very lonely and boring. You have to wait 6 hours for people to wake up because, the time zone difference, and you're going to sleep when everyone's just, having lunch, which sucks. But yeah, it's very lonely. That's one thing I'd say.
Outside of the time difference, was there anything culturally that kind of caught you by surprise or maybe took a little bit of adjusting to? I mean, you mentioned the supermarkets there, but anything else?
Yeah, like besides the language, I mean, obviously that's the biggest one is the language. I live in a city, it's called Dusseldorf. It's like 20 minutes from Mönchengladbach. And it's so, so modernized. A lot of people speak English there. That's why it's not... it wasn't really that hard of a changeover, because you can go to a restaurant, they'll have an English menu, stuff like that. So other than the language and the Sunday thing, it's really been all right.
Nice, perfect. And I guess the last question I really have for you is, for any NYCF fans watching this, do you have a message for them now that you've caught up with us? Yeah,
I definitely, one day would love to, play again in the new stadium, which is coming soon. So I'd love to, one day, come back and really play for NYCFC, because my first time was, I think, only 5 games. So I'd love to come back and try and win, win more trophies for the club and help them. And I miss you guys.
Yeah. The feeling's mutual, I think, from everything that I've seen. So brilliant. Joe, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful week.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.